For a programmer, a text editor isn't just another app, it's a partner. It's probably the one piece of software you'll use for your entire career. So today, we're diving into one of the most legendary editors of all time, Emacs. And let me tell you, this isn't just an editor, it's a whole environment, a philosophy, and honestly, for those who master it, it's a genuine superweapon. There's a reason people call Emacs the editor for a lifetime. Just imagine a tool that you can mold and shape over years to fit your brain perfectly. It's kind of like a digital Swiss Army knife. I mean, it can be a simple text editor, sure, but it can also be your code compiler, your email client, even your file manager, all in one place. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get into why Emacs is even considered a superweapon. Then, we'll break down its interface. After that, we're going to learn something called the cursor dance for super fast navigation. Then, we'll unlock its real superpowers. And finally, we'll put all our new skills to the test with a fun little challenge. So what is it that gives Emacs this legendary status? I mean, why have developers sworn by this thing for decades, ever since it was created way back in 1976? Well, it really all boils down to a few core ideas. The entire philosophy behind Emacs really rests on four main pillars: customizability, efficiency, extensibility, and integration. And this isn't just about writing code, it's about building your perfect workflow from the ground up. Let's dig into what each of those actually means. So think of it like this. Customizability means you can literally rewrite the editor's DNA to do whatever you want. Efficiency is all about speed, ditching the mouse and editing at the speed of thought. Extensibility means you can plug into this huge ecosystem of tools for pretty much any language or project you can think of. And finally, integration. This is the big one. It means all your tools live in one place so you can edit code, run tests, and commit to Git, all with a few keystrokes, without ever breaking your concentration. All right, to use all that power, we first need to know our way around. So let's take a look at the basic building blocks of the Emacs window. Yeah, it might look a little old school, but trust me, every single piece has a purpose. So let's break down what we're looking at here. That main area where all your text lives, that's called the buffer. Your cursor, that's known as the point. That's where all the action happens. And see that little command line at the very bottom? That's the Minibuffer. It's your direct line to Emacs where you'll be typing commands and getting feedback. Now here's the key idea to wrap your head around. The buffer is just the contents of your file loaded into memory. This means you can have a ton of buffers open at once without actually having all those files open. The point is your cursor, and the Minibuffer is how you talk to Emacs. If you can get those three concepts down, you basically understand how Emacs thinks. Let's see how this works with some basic file stuff. To open or create a file, you hit Ctrl+X, then Ctrl+F. A good way to think about it is that Ctrl+X is kind of like a prefix that tells Emacs, hey, I'm about to give you a command. To save, it's Ctrl+X, Ctrl+S. To save it with a new name, it's Ctrl+X, Ctrl+W. And when you're all done, Ctrl+X, Ctrl+C gets you out of there. Okay, now we get to the really fun part. The reason Emacs is so blazing fast is because it's all about keyboard navigation. It's about moving that cursor with incredible precision and speed, all without ever having to touch the mouse. We call this the cursor dance. You'll start to notice a pattern to the key bindings. Ctrl+F moves you forward one character, Ctrl+B moves you back, Ctrl+P goes to the previous line, and Ctrl+N goes to the next. But here's the real secret to speed, the meta key. That's usually the Alt key on your keyboard. Holding meta and pressing F or B lets you jump by whole words at a time. This is where you really start to feel that flow state. And we can go even bigger. Need to move faster? Ctrl+V pages down and Meta V pages up. Just think V for viewing the next page. Meta less than jumps you straight to the start of the file, and meta greater than zips you to the very end. Oh, and if you ever get stuck or type something wrong, there's a panic button. Ctrl+G. It cancels pretty much anything you're doing. Seriously, when in doubt, just hit Ctrl+G. Okay, so we've covered the basics of moving around and editing. Now let's get into the features that truly make Emacs feel like it has actual superpowers, starting with something as simple as copy and paste. I mean, think about your normal clipboard for a second. You copy something, and poof, whatever was there before is just gone, forever. It's got the memory of a goldfish. But what if it didn't? What if your clipboard remembered everything you'd ever copied or cut? Welcome to the kill ring.
See, in Emacs, you don't cut, you kill. When you kill some text, say with Ctrl+K to kill a line, it goes into this ring. When you paste, or as Emacs calls it, yank, with Ctrl+Y, it brings back the last thing you killed. But here's the magic trick. If you press Meta-Y right after that, it cycles back through the history of everything else you've killed. It's a clipboard with a time machine. It's awesome.
And speaking of time machines, let's talk about search and undo. Incremental search, which you start with Ctrl+S, is amazing. It finds matches as you type, highlighting them in real time. But the real time machine is undo. With Ctrl/ or Ctrl+XU, you can step backward through every single change you've made. It is so forgiving, it's almost impossible to actually lose your work. You just keep hitting undo until you're right back where you wanted to be.
All right, we've covered the concepts, we've learned how to navigate, and we've unlocked the superpowers. Now it's time to put it all together. Let's run through a quick challenge to see these commands in action and prove we've got this. Okay, let's get our hands dirty and put these keystrokes into practice. We're going to run through a quick challenge that simulates a real-world workflow. This is going to test everything from the basic file stuff to the more advanced superpowers we just covered.
First part of the challenge, file operations. Task 1 is to open up a file using Ctrl+X, Ctrl+F. Task 2 is to save it with Ctrl+X, Ctrl+S. These are the absolute fundamentals for getting anything done.
Now for the editing operations. Time to use those superpowers. Task 1, kill a line with Ctrl+K. Task 2, yank it right back with Ctrl+Y. Task 3, search for some text with Ctrl+S. And finally, Task 4, undo a change with Ctrl/. This really covers that core editing loop. And there we have it. Each one of these files represents a skill we've just practiced, from opening a file all the way to undoing a change. Verification complete. You've just taken your first major steps into the wider world of Emacs. Look, learning Emacs is definitely an investment. It's not the easiest thing to just pick up and go, but the payoff lasts for decades. It grows with you, it adapts to you, and eventually it just becomes an extension of your own mind. The real question isn't whether you can learn it, but what are you going to build with it?